Here we are, guys. Another episode of Tradio, brought to you proudly by Trade Tools. And we've got Joel in with us from AHA Plumbing. And we've actually just recorded the podcast, hey? And we've doubled back around to do the intro because the first intro was rubbish, yeah?
It was rough, yeah.
It was terrible. I've been regretting it the whole time, so here we are.
It's played on his mind, so.
It has. Yeah, but it was a really, really good chat, guys. So I think you should look forward to this one.
Was not going to lie, a bit nervous about going into some of those subjects, but I'll leave that up to you guys to decide whether you like them or not.
I might have to edit out a couple of little bits there, but I think I'll leave the vast majority of it, mate. So is it AHA Plumbing?
Yeah, AHAP for short.
AHAP.
Yeah, all hours affordable plumbing.
Ah, right, AHAP. I'm with you now. Yeah, I heard you say that before and I didn't know what you meant.
It's all happening.
Let's just start off. Tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Righto. Well, I'm 25 and I've recently opened my own plumbing business.
Yeah, right. Oh, actually, I should tell you guys that we've just set up a new podcast system. So I've got a soundboard in front of me. That's why I sound a bit distracted because I'm trying to work out exactly how to use it. So this episode will be a little bit of a trial. We've got we've got sound effects. I'm not sure what they do. Let's try one. Welcome to the podcast.
If you're just listening to this and you're not watching, it looks like he's every DJ you've ever seen in any nightclub ever.
I feel like it. I do.
I'm waiting for the dun 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 dun.
Well, I'm looking for Darude Sandstorm, but I can't find it.
Where's Jimmy? You'll find it with him.
Yeah. So 25, just started your own plumbing business. How'd that come about?
Well, it was always something that was on the back of my mind. Doing your apprenticeship, you think, like I'll work for someone and it's good being on wages and everything like that. But I've always been someone who's wanted to try a little bit more.
Yep.
And it was just in the back of my mind for a long time. And I sort of got in a position where I was going to change employers. And I came to the ultimatum of if I change to someone else, I'd be real half-hearted with it because I'd always have that in the back of my mind. I don't really think that's fair if you work for someone, if you're not committed to work for them, if you know what I mean, and really have a go. So I decided to take the step and I spoke to a few different people before I did it and called my old man and had a big discussion with a couple of people and came to the decision, well, no time like the present, let's have a crack at it. And
cool.
That's what I did, eh?
How long you been out on your own 2 feet now?
So it's almost 3 months, at the end of 3 months coming into my 4th month now. So
still nice and fresh.
Oh, very.
And how's it treating you so far?
At first it was more daunting than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Thinking, I've got to pay myself and if I don't work, then who's paying for my rent? And I don't really have anyone that can sort of pay for me, so to speak.
No safety net?
Nah. It was just risk it for the biscuit. So to be honest, I haven't done really any advertising at all. I've just got a little Instagram page and just got some business cards made and got a couple of thousand printed and spent $50 or $60 online and got that done. And then I work at train at a couple of gyms where there's a fair few people. So every time I spoke to someone, the first part of the conversation was, I run my own plumbing business.
Yeah.
And then mum's got a drip and tap. And I'd walk over to my gym bag and grab out a card and sling it across. And a few people would start talking and
so every time you introduce, g'day Joel from AHAP Plumbing, mate.
Yeah. So what do you do for work? I run my own plumbing business.
Yeah.
Oh, really? They obviously think that you're killing it, and I'm like, haha, kinda. It's just scary at first, but
for sure. Yeah, well, I suppose that's sort of how it all kicks off, though. Word of mouth business, and then they tell their mates, and
yeah. That's exactly right. So obviously before I started, I'm real lucky. I've worked around some real talented plumbers and worked for a couple of different businesses and seen how other people operate. And my dad's worked for himself my whole life and all that sort of thing. So I had some fundamentals in the back of my mind of what I would do. And I listened to, there's another plumbing company on the coast called Jet Set and they have a podcast and I listened to him. And one of the first things he said, it's resonated with me straight away because it's real similar to what my dad always said. And it was, if you just say, for example, you had one job for the day and it was fixing Dorothy's taps.
Yeah.
You would go there, you would do the job. So it was smick, and then when you finished, you've got nothing for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So you would go, while I'm here, you would just charge them accordingly for what you've done. Sweet, no worries. And then I'll go around and check the rest of their house out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got an issue, blah, 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 and go fix it up. Or when I was there, if they had any issues with anything in regards to, while you're here, could you move my washing machine or whatever, I'd do whatever I could to help
Jump
them.
on in, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not being facetious or anything like that. It's because I actually care, and
Yep.
I know that, and it's proof, like, because I'm pretty busy at the moment, and most of it's return customers and
Yeah, for sure.
people talking about it. So if you help people to the best of your ability, that's the only thing that they're going to talk about. So when I finish that job, like, they've gone out on a limb to take me out, but we both know that that's something that they're going to mention to their friends. So yeah, that's what I've done, and it's been brilliant, eh?
Well, that's sort of when we were talking to Matty from Shoreside, that's how he
Extremely similar, yeah.
he trains his boys to make sure you provide the client an experience that they they're going to remember and appreciate.
Exactly, like when he said how he clocks off and then goes and gives them a hand. Like I grew up in a real small country town, and it was just normal. Like if someone had an issue, for example, like their car broke down out the front of the pub,
everyone
4 or
helps.
5 people to jump out and start pushing the car down the road to roll start it or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's not like you're doing it to go on Instagram and to look good or whatever. It's just, no, I want to help you out, and I'm not here to rip you off. I just want to do a job accordingly, and you're going to pay for it, and that's it. It's sweet.
Happy days. Everyone walks away happy.
It's really cool, yeah.
And did you go straight into plumbing after school, or did you? What'd you get up to?
I've been around like a risshole, eh?
Oh, yeah.
I've done a fair bit, so it's a bit of a story, but I'll run you through it. So I'm paraphrasing pretty hard trying to remember it all, but first left school, had a couple of odd like before I was leaving school, I had a couple of odd jobs because I lived in a small town, so my parents had the pub there, so I get a lot of different trades and stuff would come there of an afternoon, and
true.
I just walk around, g'day mate, how you going? Do you need any help this week?
Oh yeah, right.
So there's a few electricians, stonemasons. My dad's a brickie, and before he like started building houses and had the hotel and whatever. But we just there was a couple of carpenters, and we'd just sit on the corner each morning, and they'd come pick me up when they were driving past at 5, and I'll go spend the day with them and checked it all out. So I did a few different had a crack at a few different trades, but when I finished year 10, got my certificate, and decided that I didn't want to do any further. I wanted to do a trade, get my hands on some tools, and I started a mechanic apprenticeship and did that for about a year and a half, and then that was down in Canberra.
I don't know how any mechanics do their job. I can't stand working on engines.
Oh, like, I don't know. I've always been a bit of a car head sort of thing. I've just enjoyed seeing how things work, and I think that's eventually what led me to plumbing, is just being curious at how stuff works.
Yeah, right. Where does that poo go when I flush? Let's find out.
Why does it go this way on this side of the planet? But, so... Anyways, I did the mechanic thing, and then a few things happened in my life, and I ended up moving up to the Gold Coast for a minute. And when I came up here, I started doing a bit of carpentry, and while I was doing that, I worked in restaurants and stuff, and then I decided I was going to get a job that actually paid. So I went into a company called Skilled, where they hire you out and worked in the factory.
Yeah, I know the one.
Started getting into the gym a little bit. And then decided I want to be a personal trainer and was going to change everybody's fitness ever. So I went and studied and got my Cert 3 and 4 in fitness, and then did that, then moved to, I did that, then worked in a timber yard, moved to Brisbane, worked for a concreting company for a while. That was pretty cool. Got to travel like up north and stuff on some concrete crews. That was fun. Yeah,
righto.
And then started with a geotech soil company, working on like land cruisers with drill rigs on the back of them.
Ah, yes.
So that was for me, that was sort of my dream job. Like big fan of land cruisers. So driving all over country Queensland and out to Augathella and
so that were the ones with the drill, actually, like the rig mounted on the back of it.
Yeah. So it's just like a big old forward drive with an auger on the back of it, and you go and drill holes and take all the samples out. I really love that. And then more stuff happened in my life, and I went back down home for who I consider to be my mum's funeral. Yeah. And when I was down there, I got in a bit of a wrestle and dislocated my shoulder. So there's a bit of a situation there. So I went back up. When I moved back up, I'd like my brother and stuff's back down in Canberra. Yeah. And I had a bit of a chat with him. I was like, my niece didn't really recognise who I was. So who we consider to be mum just passed away. So it was all pretty emotional. And he's like, you should come back down here. You got that personal training thing. There's a gym here that'll take you on. You should move. So that was on the Sunday. And
big decision time.
On the Wednesday, I started my first shift in Canberra as a PT.
Yeah, right.
So packed over the course of 2 days, packed up, quit, moved back down home. Yep. And then when I was down there, decided I wanted to walk my own footsteps sort of thing. It was because my dad's up here, so it was a big deal for me to leave.
Okay, yep.
I was like, no, I really need to be independent and walk my own path. So I went down there and did the PT thing for about a week. Figured out pretty quick you don't earn money as a PT.
Yeah, right.
Or if you do, it's pretty tricky, especially in a quiet gym.
Yep.
So I started working for a flooring guy, wanted to do an apprenticeship, and I was really, really lucky. A friend of mine friends of mine had opened a plumbing business down home, and I was like, and they we want an apprentice, and I was like, I'll give that a crack.
Yeah.
So I hit them up, and they're like, yeah, come on, have a go, and did a few days with them, and they sort of liked me, so started my apprenticeship with them.
Yeah, right.
And did I think I did a year and a half with them, and then the whole time I was working a couple of different jobs. I ended up working 4 jobs at one stage.
Yeah, right.
Doing north of 90 hours a week, and if you don't believe me, I can give you the employees.
I
can give you the employees' names. And then
that's hard yakka, eh?
Yeah, so I did that, and then swapped my apprenticeships, which back home is a pretty big deal. And started working for ACT Gas and Plumbing, and did the majority of the rest of my apprenticeship there.
Yep.
While that was all going on, I came up and competed on the Gold Coast.
As a bodybuilding,
as a fitness model, So
right.
Wannabe bodybuilders.
And I was going to say, when you walked in here, I had to pick my jaw up off the floor. I was like, look at this specimen of a human.
I just
looks like a younger version of myself.
I just make sure I put my shirts in the dryer.
I just wear my sun shirts.
Just shop a baby game.
yeah.
So I came up here and competed, and I came up to see my old man and stuff, and I was like, what am I doing? You know, Canberra's cold and horrible. I'm picking up crowbars with frost on it.
Yeah.
Silly. So I decided to pack up and move up here, and then I moved up here, finished my apprenticeship, got signed off and whatever, and then did my licensing. And at the end of my licensing, I was sort of in a position where I'd worked for this company for a bit over 2 years, and was really appreciative of everything they'd given me and everything. So I was like, I need a change. I need to do something different. It's been 2 years. I want to go somewhere else.
Get out and flap those wings.
Yeah, man. And then just sort of there was one morning that I sat at home, and I wasn't working that day, and I called my dad and had a big chat with him, and called a couple of plumbers. And there's actually a plumber on the coast, Dan, who owns iPlumb Solutions. I called him, and I had a real big chat with him about it all, and came to the conclusion that I was in a position where I could pay for myself for a couple of months, and why not? Give it a crack. I had my license, I had a ute, had tools.
So would you say, because I imagine before you step out on your own, I never did or anything when I was doing carpentry work, and it was always, just on ABN, bloody Subian. But when I used to, sort of think about doing something like that, it's like, I don't know where to start. I got no idea, what to expect.
Yeah. Same boat, man.
Yeah.
It's but like I said, I've worked for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of different businesses, ups and downs, and I'm just real lucky that the people who I surround myself with are all pretty successful, and they've all got sort of their eye on the prize. And
cool.
I'm real tight with my uncle, and he works for a big airline as a pilot, so he has a lot of time off. And I was telling him about it, and it sort of turned into his little hobby.
Yeah, right.
So while I'm plumbing away doing my own thing, we'll discuss different topics and different procedures about businesses and stuff, and he'll overlook it and be like, "What are you doing here? Why are you spending money there?" And
right.
So sort of got a bit of an archangel on my back.
Yeah, so that's pretty handy.
He sort of looks at everything I've done while I've got on my feet and got all my invoicing sorted and all that sort of stuff. And as I get busier, he's just. It was sort of one of those things where I think he just sort of helped me take off, if that makes sense, and just gave me a bit of guidance. And you should make sure you keep on top of your taxes. Make sure you have like all your money separate, what's going in, what's going out.
Yeah,
like
right.
having different phones, like have a work phone and a personal phone, and just being able to separate business from life.
Yep.
And so far so good, man. Like to be honest, I love it.
Yeah, right. Has there been any major hiccups or anything yet? I shouldn't say yet, but has there?
Considering I've been plumbing for 3 minutes. Not really, Like, I've had a couple of quiet weeks. Like that for me, that's always sort of I wouldn't say a hiccup, but definitely a learning curve. Like whenever it happens, I just have to think, why did that happen?
And learn from it.
Yeah. And it's just with that, like as I've noticed, I just got to be a bit patient with some things and just keep staying, like just as always, stay honest and
for sure.
Whenever you get the opportunity, just let people know you're not there to rip them off. You just want to do a good job, and it's slowly but surely he's building, picked up a couple of real estates and a couple of builders now and that. So
nice, very good.
Yeah, it's been cruising.
How was your apprenticeship? Like, did you have any horror stories from it or?
I've had some interesting times as an apprentice, obviously. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really have anything too bad, to be honest. Like, I had a couple of tradesmen that I butted heads with.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I'm pretty strong-willed, and obviously, being an apprentice, it's not good to be like that at times. But in saying that, I believe a lot of apprentices cop a lot of stick when they shouldn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't get me wrong. Like, as a tradesman, I've had apprentices underneath me and seen what they can be like. But a lot of the times, it's the tradesman's got a bee in his bonnet, and he thinks that, you know, he can show what's up and do some things very facetiously to the apprentice and thinks it's hilarious, and they don't really see it as a young guy, the person who's supposed to be their role models. Doing some pretty nasty and saying some pretty horrible things to them. And a lot of people, they don't think about the mental health of that kid. And now obviously it's a big thing in the workplace.
Big time.
You think about it, like, obviously there's a difference between like having a joke.
Yeah.
And then,
for sure.
And then like belittling someone on the regular, you know what I mean?
Yeah, entertaining yourself at the expense of someone else, you know?
Yeah, it's just like a schoolyard bully in some regards. So I think a lot of apprentices cop a lot of stick for that. From tradesmen, where they'll carry on that they're not good enough and they don't want to work hard. And like, well, who would want to work for you when you act like that?
That's right. Them? Yeah, exactly right.
But in saying that, there's a lot of people I think that are a little bit soft that just need to realise it's a joke, mate. Calm down.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
No need to cry about it.
Yeah, it's hard to find a balance too. There is no specific formula because, you know, every individual person is so different with how they'll react to certain behaviour. So
you never know. It's like customers, mate. When you walk into someone's house, you've got to be very, very neutral when you first walk in there and find out what they're like. You know, for example, if you work in a prestigious area like Sovereign Island, you know, you need to be very refined in what you say. And if you're working in, hypothetically, somewhere else on the coast, you know, you can be a lot more relaxed with the way that you speak, and you change your attitude according to that. I think that's a lot with people, you know what I mean? Sure. Everyone's a bit different, and sometimes you just got to weigh the waters and find out what they're like before you do anything.
Before you dive in,
Yeah, before you trip them over and push them.
Well, doing what you've done, like a jack of all trades, it's impressive. Oh, and actually, you said earlier you're a volunteer firefighter too.
Yeah. So I do a little bit of volunteering. I'm pretty lucky. I volunteer at a Mudgee Bar fire station. So unfortunately, the last couple of months, I haven't been getting there as much as I would like to. Obviously, with work commitments, but I think that's part and parcel. You know, when you start a business, you just need to realise that this will be your everything for the next minute until you get on top of it. So so I haven't been there as much, but I love it. Hey, best decision I ever made.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you went down to New South, you were saying, and actually helped fight the big fires down there.
So we went down when there was the big fires in New South Wales and Stanthorpe. I was very, very lucky that I put my hand up to, there was a task force that was going down there.
Yeah.
And I put my hand up and said, I'll go. And I'd only just came out of, that was the day before I'd came out of FMS. That's like firefighter minimum skills.
Yep.
And I just came out of that literally the day prior. Like,
and off you go.
Yeah. And I'd been there for nearly a year at the time. And our second officer, I think it was, Aaron, he gave me the tick of approval to go down there. So I went down there with Brad and Glenn, and went down to Stanthorpe and spent 5 days fighting fire. We're doing more backburning than anything, and just lighting some of the biggest fires I've ever seen back into a mountain to stop it.
A mate of mine, Scotty, is a ranger with SEQ, and they do all the same thing, you know, going backburn, and it's just crazy, It's amazing. What a job.
If you think about it, I'm paraphrasing hard here, I don't recall, but I think something like 93% of Queensland is protected by volunteers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people take it a little bit too seriously, I think. But you got to remember, like, the people that are out there volunteering, they've got families and kids and jobs and stuff, and they give up every Tuesday night or whatever their training night is, and they give up weeks of their life to go out and save whoever's property it is, or to save the environment and stuff from those fires. So I think it's very noble and very appreciative.
Actually, I think I've got a sound effect for it. I hope I hit the right button. For the firefighters and volunteers. Nailed it. On you, fellas and ladies.
Yeah. Everyone.
So knowing what you know now and doing all the work you've done, would you ever consider trading it up for an office job?
Good question.
It's one of our favourite questions to ask.
It's a brilliant question. Okay, so there's two ways that I would think about that. Depends if you're a office in regards to running a business or office is working for someone.
Oh, geez, yeah. Now it's getting tough. I don't know.
Well, so if I was working for myself in an office, I don't think I would have an issue with it.
Yeah.
However, I've worked for people who obviously run their own business, and I think that they become very out of touch over a period of time of being on the tools. And at least get yourself back in on the tools and realize how hard it is to use a shovel. Working for yourself, I don't think I'd have too much of an issue going into the office as long as I got out on the tools every now and again.
Yeah, for sure.
But working for someone, to be 100% honest, I think I'd probably go a bit stir crazy because I'd want to be doing stuff.
Yep.
But if it was an office job where you got to go out inside a bit and whatever, then I don't think I'd have too much of a drama. But I think as people go further in their career, especially as a tradesman, depending on who you are, a lot of people want to do it to protect their body, especially if they've got a young family. Like you've got lower back issues or your knees or your shoulder or whatever, and you've got young kids.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart decision to move to upskill yourself to be in a position where you can do something that's a little bit less physical on your body, so you can enjoy the finer things.
Have you ever been told you're very calculated in your answers? Most of the time it's like, nah, no way. Fuck the office.
Take a hard pass. Good
answer.
I think a lot. So I think it's annoyed a lot of people.
Yep.
And somewhat sorry for that to all my teachers that I absolutely hounded asking just all the questions. And I think that as a side note, as an apprentice, even if someone gets shitty, you're asking questions, don't stop till you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't matter. It does not matter at all.
And you know what? I think a boss, right, as a boss that's committed to training an apprentice, you should never get pissed off and upset with an apprentice that asks questions, because that shows initiative. They actually, willingness to learn more.
They're keen, like a good way to look at it. This is hypothetical to think of it this way. But if you're an apprentice and, you keep asking, like, whatever the question may be, you're trying to do an offset and a bend, bend in some copper or something, and you just can't wrap your head around it.
Yep.
And the boss just sort of gets to the point where he's like, oh, well, you just don't get it. I'll try and show you again later. Just in your mind, think of it this way. He's not smart enough to show a way for you to understand it. It's not that you're dumb enough to not understand it.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. So he lacks the skills to help you understand rather than you.
And everyone will have that with teachers. You think back to school, I guarantee everyone has the same experience where they'll have one teacher where they'll do things in a certain way where they're like, yep, sweet, understand it. Other people are doing, like, I just can't wrap my head around a bit. And I think a lot of talented teachers and tradesmen out there can put things in such a way that you'll understand it.
That's good. I like that. Good job. Good answer, mate. Far out. So how'd you go in school?
Not great, eh?
Oh, didn't you?
Man,
I'm actually surprised. I thought, from what I've seen, I thought you would have been pretty good.
Nah, I lived in like country New South Wales and had to catch a bus an hour and a half every day to school.
Wow.
I think it's because I think the way that I do, I was just more interested in doing activity sort of things. I was actually thinking about this before, and we're talking about like sickies and stuff with work.
Yeah.
But where I grew up, there's like a bus shelter, and on one side is the tennis courts, and the other side's the bus shelter.
Yeah.
And I would, because I could.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, the bus would drive past, and he'd have to drive past it, do a U-E, come back, pick us all up.
Yeah.
And he would drive past, and a lot of the time I was the only kid that was there. So he would drive past, see me, and I'd wave at him. And when he'd do a U-E, while he's doing a U-E, I'd just walk around the other side into the tennis court area, and then just like look through the slats of the timber and look at him and watch him pull up and just be all confused and be like, I swear to God, there was a human here. And he'll get out and have a look and sing out, and I'll just be real quiet, and then he'll get back in the bus and drive off. And as soon as he'll get in the bus and go around the corner, I'd like run out into the road and wave and see him slow down. And
he would have hated you.
I couldn't help myself.
He's done it again. He would have went back to his wife and whinged about you every night.
I swear there's a ghost in Captain Slack. So, and then when I'd roll home, like mum and dad would be like, what are you doing here? Oh, not going to believe it. Bus wasn't there, eh?
Yeah.
Because I was so far away, they weren't going to drive me to school. So I'd jump on my push bike, go up the BMX track and start making some jumps for the afternoon.
That's clever. That's great. Yeah. Did you find they promoted trade life at all?
Well, it's funny that you like in regards to school, I didn't do very well at anything except for motor maintenance. I absolutely slayed that class. That was my favorite class. Was that whenever I had motor maintenance, I was there on time and sharp. Because I was interested. I wanted to do it. I wanted to see how a lawnmower worked. Do you know what I mean? In regards to the skills tech side of thing, it was a long time since I've been there, but I've always, like everyone who I'm friends with are tradies. I've always been around trades, and I grew up in a very trade dominated town.
Yeah,
so
righto. So it was always a part of your life.
Yeah, it was. I never knew any different. I always knew that there was tradies, and I personally didn't think I was going to be a tradie.
Yeah.
After I was a apprentice mechanic,
yeah,
and did my PT thing, I was like, nah, that's it. I'm going to be a PT. I want to help people forever.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, it's pretty cutthroat sort of.
And then
the sounds of it.
When you do get on the trades, and I'm sure a lot of people who are trades will understand this, there is, in my opinion, no better feeling and no better sound than the sound of the clinkle of boots, like when you don't have your lace through the top two like knuckles. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you can hear on my boots.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's that sound of the brass of them knocking around, and the feel of having like a nail bag on.
Yeah.
Putting your hammer in a nail bag.
Sure.
In my opinion, like that's I take, it sounds silly, but I take a lot of pride when I put that on. Same with the volunteering thing. Like when you have a shirt on that says like firefighter on the back.
For sure, yeah.
You have like a little bit of a pep in your step. When you walk past someone, you know what I mean? You feel good.
Only shirt I've ever worn that had firefighter written on it I got from a costume shop, mate. So you got that on, you got that on me.
Yeah, well, fair enough. It's not hard. If you want to volunteer, find your local station, hit them up. It's not hard to get into it.
I'm 30 years old, mate. I struggle to get out of bed. I have 6 beers at night and I'm done for 2 days.
Put out your internal fire.
Yeah. The transition from the apprenticeship into your business, have you, like, I know it's only fresh, only a few months, but has there been any trials so far that have?
Like I've had some interesting things, which I'm sure every businessman comes to, in regards to people who will try and chase you to the bottom. So let's just say, for example, like I started out, I was just always ingrained, like, don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
Especially when I was doing the PT thing, and as Shoreside Plumbing said,
sort of know your worth.
Yeah, man. Like, you got to understand that it's real hard when you're 18 years old and you got to tell someone it's $60 for them to see you for the hour.
Yep.
It's a real hard and fast lesson. So you just learn to know your worth. And it's another thing like with that is you're not paying for me to do that tap washer. You're paying for the 5 years of study and work.
True.
That I've done before for me to do this.
That's a good way to look at it.
So I've always sort of had that. But when I've gone and done jobs, I'll obviously do the job, and then like we spoke about, I'll go help them out with something else, like they needed to move whatever around or whatever it may be, or talk with them or give them some ideas of what I would do plumbing wise with certain things, and then they'll hit you back up at a lower price, and you're like, and then once you crunch the numbers on it, you're like, wait a second,
losing money on that.
That doesn't even pay for my fuel to get there, man. Like, it sounds like a lot of money, but when you look at materials and time and whatever, like, no, that doesn't make sense. And they sort of hit you up because they know that you're pretty, like, in the first couple of weeks, like, they know you've just started and you're pretty quiet, and they think you're just going to take it.
Yeah, true.
It was a bit of an interesting lesson. Sometimes it's best just to say no.
Yep.
And you in those situations, in my opinion, better off to lay in bed and go broke than go work your clacker out and spend all this money and not make any money. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing, $1,000 in, $1,000 out.
Yep.
Plus your labor, but when you crunch the numbers, it's like, wait, I didn't earn any money. Better off to stay at home or
for sure,
go print some more cards off and start slinging them out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I've had that a couple of times, and when they find out you're a one-man band, they think that they can screw you to the wall. I'm like, look, I appreciate the offer, but I think it's best you find someone else.
When you say people running you to the bottom, like as in undercutting your quotes, so that you provide a quote and then they, the client will say, well, I got this price, and you come in under just to try and get that work.
Well, I again, that's like not letting myself do that. And it's very, it's very hard to say no to work.
Yep.
At like, not so much now. I'm pretty lucky. I've got a couple of real estates and stuff that keep me afloat, and it's been awesome. It's snowballing. But like, for a perfect example would be like going to like replace a basin set, for example, right?
Yep.
And then you'll go there and you say it's X amount for this, it's X amount for that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh well, we had a handyman here who came and replaced it and charged us $50.
Yeah, right.
And then you have to go through, well, you do understand they're not licensed. If your house floods, you have to pay for that, or the handyman does.
Yeah.
Not, like, if I flood your house, my public liability pays for that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that's why I have a license, and I know what's going on.
A big thing with hiring legit tradies is you're hiring their their liability insurance. You're hiring all this safety that comes with it. You know, if something goes wrong, it'll be all right.
I absolutely take my hat off to any company that employs someone. When I look at the way that I do things, I'm confident in what I do.
Yeah.
But to know that you've built yourself up a company and then you take someone on, and you have to go, hey, wait a second. Everything that I've done, all those like late nights and handing those cards out and stuff, all relies on this one person to represent my company and what I've done. I need to know that they're good. I need to know they're going to do a quality job, and I need to know when it's 4 o'clock on a Friday and they want to knock off, that they're not just going to nip that nut up and not seal it properly. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to know that they're going to be good. And every tradesman every company rather that takes on a tradesman, I think that would be a real hard thing to know that you're putting your company's name on on someone, and just obviously people have ways of knowing what people are like, but I think that's the most daunting thing for the future, because if it keeps going the way I am, I'll look at taking someone on by the end of the year or early into next year. And that'll be my hardest thing, is to know that they're going to be like me sort of thing in regards to plumbing and attitude with customers. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I never thought of that way either, you know?
Yeah, it's because you just like, as being an employee rather for an employer, I know what I'm like. So I'm like, yeah, sweet, man. I'll do what I can to look after them and all the rest of it. And as you would, same thing. But then you think, I've worked with a lot of tradies that are some interesting cats. And I'm like, man.
Yeah, I've seen some, everyone's seen some dodgy pricks, eh?
Exactly right. I think a lot of companies cop a lot of flack with that. For example, like they'll take a tradie on, they don't know that guy's a peanut.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
He'll go out and say something real facetious to a customer or make her feel uncomfortable.
And it falls straight on the company.
And then all of a sudden, such and such company is under scrutinisation for what this one peanut said. That's just a personal thing that I'm nervous of the future but I think if you take the time to get to know someone and all the rest of it, that won't be an issue.
Absolutely. What's the worst job you've been to? Because plumbers they've always got awesome stories.
I have one that wasn't it was the day that I thought I quit plumbing,
Yeah, all right. Okay, all right. Just a quick info break. Come in and check out the TT Diner on Friday and Saturday nights from 5 p.m. for our bike and car nights. Open till 10 p.m. with drinks and great food, plus we're also open for breakfast and lunch Monday through Saturday. Located at Trade Tools Archerfield, which is 569 Boundary Road. Everyone's welcome. There's a huge car park for all the toys. So there's few better ways to spend an evening, guys. With that said, back to the podcast.
All right, horror story, yeah?
Yeah, go. Shoot.
So I was at I won't name any names.
No,
I don't think that's wise.
Try not to, yeah.
So I was at quite a big building in Surfers Paradise at 3 a.m. and we had to they have a big pump out pit, so it's the size of a shipping container, I assume, something to that sort of magnitude. And they have 2 big macerator pumps in the bottom, and I think it was 40 or 50 mil pressure lines that pump up. It's the lid's on the 3rd story, so it's obviously 4 stories deep.
Yep.
So there's presumably 4 stories of head pressure before it gets up to the sewer main.
Yep.
Of like this pump out line, and plumbers will understand. They have a swing check, and that as it pumps up, the gate opens.
Yeah.
And when the water pressure wants to come back down, it shuts.
It shuts. Yep.
Pardon me. So I had to get in there, and we had to replace those. And while we're doing that, the pump company was going to service the pumps.
Yeah.
And I was pretty eager at the time because I'm just like that. And I was like, oh yeah, no worries, man. I'll get in the hole. So what it was like a manhole that we lift up, and they put the tripod over it. You put a body harness on. I had like the waders, like when you go fly fishing.
Yep.
I had those up to my chest.
Yep.
And then because I wear glasses, I took my glasses off because I didn't want to drop them in there. So I had nothing over my eyes. I had like a handsaw and stuff hanging off my side.
Yep.
And the idea was I would go in there, I would cut it.
Yep.
There wouldn't be anything in the line because we would have isolated it. And then they can pull the pump out, and then I can glue it all back up. So I'm wearing like a respirator, like the air detector on my chest, and all the gear, and click, 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 like a boat winch.
Yep.
Winds you down into the hole, and I've got I don't have any head torches, and they've got one like a big torch shining from above.
Yeah.
So I had to cross my arms to fit in the manhole.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tight to get in.
Yep.
And the pipes to on the right of me, and I had to turn myself.
Yeah.
So there's 2 lines to my right hand side, and as I've turned myself, I've put my hand on the pipe.
Yeah.
So that obviously the pump's at the bottom.
Yep.
The swing check's like just above my eyes.
Yep.
And I've put my hand on the pipe to swing myself around the harness so that I can start to cut it.
Yeah.
And as I've put my hand on the pipe to move myself, unbeknown to us, and this is, I'm pretty sure what the causation was the whole weight of the pump was on everything. It wasn't sitting on its blocks.
Oh, right.
As soon as I touched it, because it
fell.
No, it snapped the it snapped the swing check. So it dropped straight down, sheared the brass off, and I got a fan directly in the eyes. So just to give you an idea of the pressure, I was in a body harness and it was swinging me around like someone pushed me on a swing.
Wow.
So I was getting sprayed, and
Four stories of macerated.
right in my right eyeball. That's where it hit me. So I just put my hands over my face and just started screaming, trying to grab on. And as I've done that, everyone upstairs has panicked, so they've kicked the torch over. So I'm in darkness. I'm getting absolutely punished.
Wow.
Swung around on a
Did they
harness.
wind you up pretty quick?
I could hear the dude. Like, I don't know if you've used one of those
I
before.
have David arms. Yeah, that.
Do you have to do like 3 revolutions for you to move an inch?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I can just hear this thing like, and this dude was just going ham.
Yep.
But I'm trying to grab onto anything, and I'm swinging around like an absolute idiot. And so all that happened, and they got me up out of the manhole, and I was screaming my head off. The whole time it was happening, obviously, because all the gas, the air detector's going bananas on my chest, and I'm covered. And my missus at the time, like after I got out, I obviously drove home, and I was like, I didn't want to touch anything, like, because I was just head to toe covered. I was like worried about what venereal diseases is all over me, because it soaked everything. I was soaked to the bone from head to toe, like filled the waders that I was in, like filled them up like a dam up to my knees. It was a mess. Jesus. And then on the drive home, I was like, called my ex and was just crying and like, oh, can you please have a shower run and get any sort of disinfectant out we have?
Yeah,
and
that's rough, eh?
Yeah, for the next week, whenever I would look, just randomly, my eye would like start to shake. My whole vision would start to shake. So I went to the optometrist and stuff. There was a whole, I won't go right into it, there's a whole thing. Yeah. But I spent like the next week, I had like 6 visits with the optometrist. I had lacerations all over my right eye. And
no way.
Yeah, so then it was like, then I had to wait 2 weeks and go get like all my blood tests and make sure I didn't have anything wrong with me. And I had to do like pH tests, and they like fold a piece of paper and put it in up under your eye, under your eye to, it was, and then I had like, on the day I had 2 liters of saline in each eye, so you have to just lay back and open your eye and stare at it while they like squirt it into your eye.
Horrible.
It was a rough day. Yeah.
Jeez.
I was low key confident I quit plumbing, but now I've got like this massive big like, because I wear glasses, like this big mask that makes me look like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So if you look at any of my Instagram stuff, look like I'm dressed up like a Power Ranger whenever I do anything.
The big mask on.
Yeah, I've experienced it, so take a hard pass on that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, eh? Nothing like getting someone else's waste in your face.
Especially macerated at 4 stories.
Yeah, yeah. So a macerator too is a machine that chops up bigger lumps and chops it into fine lumps and sends it off.
Imagine 2 big Ninja blenders.
Yeah.
That's all they are. And then they just pump them up.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good story, mate. That's a shocker.
That's less than ideal.
It's not good being down in confined spaces without shit flying all over you.
Yeah. I think it'll be a long time before I'll get in one of them again.
Yeah. Is there anything you hate about doing what you're doing now? Like, are you pretty happy with it all?
To be honest, when I was working for someone, I was like, I think complacency breeds contempt. So when you work for someone and you get in a wage each week, and you don't have to find the work, you don't have to worry about anything, it's their reputation, not yours, all the rest of it. You get in a position where you just become comfortable, and then you find something to complain about. Hence the saying, complacency breeds contempt. So when I was working for someone, in my mind, I'd manifest a way to find that I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, but I think that's really common. Like, I'm sure nearly every single human can relate to that.
Yeah, man. It doesn't matter who you work for. Like, it does not matter. I guarantee it. You'll find someone that's got the best job in the world.
Yep.
Or, for example, is dating the most beautiful woman in the world. Someone's sick of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, someone's sick of it.
I actually used to say that.
So yeah, with that sort of thing, when I was working with someone, definitely was getting a bit annoyed with it. Yeah. But again, I think that was just me becoming complacent.
Yep.
And then you start looking at, you always want the mine job or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I started the gig by myself, it was almost like a second wind. Like I get really, it sounds stupid, but I get really excited when I go to a job and like, just say, for example, it's a leak in a wall or something, you know what I mean? Like when you go there, there's an issue, you find the issue, you resolve the issue and you clean up the mess. And when you leave, you're like, heck yeah.
That's your little reward system from your brain.
Especially with a lot of plumbing things you do, there's a lot of, in my opinion, same with like bricklayers and stuff, like in stonemasons, there's a lot of job satisfaction, or it doesn't matter the trade.
For sure.
Job satisfaction, you start something, finish something, and you look at it wasn't there and now it's there and you're like, sweet. Or there was an issue and now it's gone. But working for myself, there's nothing that I really hate about it. Obviously, there's things that you get annoyed, just certain jobs you're not a huge fan of and whatever, but again, few and far between.
Yeah, cool. So you think this will last a lot longer before you ever get that same sort of feeling of being sick of it?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've got a lot of love for it now. Like I really enjoy it. I take a lot of pride in doing what I do, and I'm really lucky being on the Gold Coast. I've somehow, I don't know how, managed to get myself associated with a lot of really talented, bigger plumbing companies than me that have always sort of, since I've started, looked after me, and I've done my best to promote them, and likewise they have. And when I didn't have much work on, they'd sling me work and stuff like that. So
I think that probably a way to explain a bit of that is probably just being a nice human like you are, you know, being a nice bloke.
Like I'm by no means, I'm no perfect human. There's like I've done plenty of things that I'm sure upset a lot of people and whatever in my time, and I think everyone does, but that's just life, you know. You learn those things, you find out who you are, and when you just want to do good and just help people, I think that's the people that you surround yourself with. You said this, you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said if you lay with dogs you get fleas. If you surround yourself with successful people and you want to do well, you want to help them, you want to do good things, then you can't not be successful, you know what I mean?
I like that. Always be trying to lift your mates up, eh? Always.
I had a real interesting conversation with a dude at the gym about that. So we're having a chat, and I can't recall what the job was, but I promoted another plumbing company and said you should use them. And he's like, aren't you a plumber? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, why don't you do it? I was like, well, I just don't have the materials to do what the size job that you want to do. It's like, well, why would you say you want them to do it? Why wouldn't you just try and upsize? Like, well, I've seen their work, mate. They are shit hot plumbers. Like I would 100% recommend them. And if you're able to, depending on the situation, obviously, if you're able to take a step back and be like, yeah, man, like I promote them. Like I want them to do well.
That should come around
all
too.
swings and roundabouts, man. The Gold Coast is a real small place, and you find that out all kinds of quickly when you start working for yourself.
For sure. Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of, if you see another tradie, even if they're the same trade as you, promote them. What's it going to do? Same thing if you have, if you're at a job and you see a young fella who's working for a company and does a good job, if you get the chance and you have the time, give that company a call and be like, hey mate, it takes 2 seconds of your day. Hey mate, old James that was on site, man, what a good bloke. Like I highly recommend him. Like unreal. And that boss, like it goes absolute miles for the employee and it looks good on the employer. So that's a big, and it's the same thing with, if you're running a business and you recommend another business, I reckon it's all swings and roundabouts. We're all tradies.
Definitely.
We all want to make money. We all want to do well. So why not support each other?
And that, you know, that'll breed an environment that other people that you've helped will defend you too in the future, you know? So like, I've said this before and it sounds corny but I want to know that if I walked into, as a plumber, if I walked into Reese and I got something and walked out, if someone said something bad about me, I know that either the lads at Reese or whoever's there will be like, nah, man, that's not right. If they have a good reason to, fair enough. Give me all the stick in the world. But if I haven't, I like to know that people have got your back, especially in the industry, and likewise with someone else. If someone else was to say something bad about them, like, well, are you sure? Like, are you sure that's right? You know what I mean? Maybe you're on the wrong foot there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you got something to say about someone, at least say it while they're there, eh?
Yeah, have a go.
Yeah. So, have you got some advice for, you know, younger people or maybe even people looking to, you know, go from an apprenticeship into that transition into business?
Yeah, for sure. So with all that sort of stuff, this is just, look, I'm green as grass when it comes to this sort of stuff, and I'm still learning every day.
But it's still fresh in your mind too. So
yeah. The biggest thing for me, be comfortable in your own skin, in knowing what you know. Don't So let's just say, for example, I'm a maintenance plumber. That's what I'm good at.
Yep.
I can't do stacks to save my life, Like I can do them, but it's going to take me a hot minute to get it done.
Yep.
Whereas someone else who's done commercial will just smoke through it.
Yeah.
Stick to what you're good at.
Yep.
And be honest with yourself about it. Then when you have a bit more work on, then you can take the time to learn new things. But in the meantime, just do what you're good at first.
Yep.
And just be honest with everything. And then in regards to the pricing, don't sell yourself short. Don't chase yourself to the bottom.
Yep.
It's the dumbest thing you could do, in my opinion. Just have a little bit of self-worth.
I suppose that'd be one of those hindsight learning curves. You don't realise until it's too late. You've already put all the hours in, and
that's exactly right.
Just to get stung.
And sometimes it's better off to stay, like I said before. Sometimes it's better off to stay in bed and go broke than it is to go out and do the job and make no money or do your ass.
You've had some good advice so far. So what about young apprentices actually in there now, and what advice would you have, for them to sort of be a good apprentice?
Everybody's different in that regards. I actually had a chat with apprentices been on here. The plumbing apprentice is his
Jimmy.
Instagram handle.
Yeah.
I had a chat with him about it, and he had some really good tips. So feel free to go back and listen to
the
podcast,
yeah, true.
Guys.
Nice segue. He did too.
Yeah, so I had a chat with him about all that sort of stuff as well. And just in my personal opinion, from what I did, just ask questions. Personal preference again, but a lot of tradesmen should take this on board as well, is even though you've been in the trade a long time and you see someone younger than you doing something, there's a lot of people that have been shown something that you've never known.
Yep.
And don't be as a tradesman
too proud to.
Yeah,
for sure.
Don't put yourself too high on a pedestal to learn from people that are younger or less experienced than you.
Yeah, for sure.
But as an apprentice, just ask all the questions in the world. And I'm bad for it myself. Like I always listen to podcasts and I take a fair bit of footage of my work and stuff. But as an apprentice, when I worked on rigs and stuff, what they did with us is you just got your phone and you locked it. You just told gave your parents, so people who are like your caretakers or whomever it may be, your next to kin, give them your boss's number. I know it's tough, especially now, but lock your phone and put it in the glove box in your car before you jump in your boss's truck. Don't take your phone to work. Yeah. It's not put your phone down. You won't. Like, I don't care who you are. If you get a vibration in your pocket, you're going to check it when someone's not looking.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And just if you're able to and you don't need it for work, lock your phone and put it in the glove box.
You definitely learn more when you actually invested in a job.
Yeah. So think of how much time you put into your phone. You know what I mean? Everyone's got iPhones. Look at your screen time.
Yeah.
You want to upset yourself?
You ought to see my screen time, mate. I'm paid to use my phone now.
It's ruthless. So I've got terrible. Just for me personally, I put only recently a guy showed me you can put locks on all your social media for screen time.
Yeah, right.
So once mine cracks an hour and a half, it comes up saying screen time expired for the day or whatever. Ignore for 15 minutes or ignore for the day.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and
cool.
For me, that's something that I've been doing a lot to just try and woo up on it a bit. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, well, it's a huge thing at the moment. As most people know, it's an actual addiction to phones and social media. It's a huge reward system.
I'm sure you've had this conversation before, and a lot of people listening would. When they go, oh, look how smart my 3-year-old they can use an iPad. Look how smart Apple is that they can make a 3-year-old use it.
Yeah. No, actually, I've got a 2 and a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And I thank Apple sometimes because
they're a saving grace.
Oh man, it is.
I don't have kids none by the way.
Sometimes you can just that's why you can work 90 hours a week.
Yeah, on occasion.
Yes. Sometimes you can just slide that iPad. We said we never would. Me and Crystal and I agreed, no, they'll never use devices until, they're a lot older and then, just take that for a minute, would you?
Just have a look at Octonauts for a hot second.
Yeah. No, they're pretty handy, but we're trying to limit to only a tiny amount of screen time because it's not good for them.
Just segueing back to my mind works different, so it's about that. But when you were talking to Jimmy, you were talking about tools in regards to what's an apprentice should buy as tools.
Yeah, good. I like this.
So if you go to any Reese, they have a toolbox there called a journeyman's kit.
Okay, right.
And it's like a galvanized toolbox, and it's got one of your first things you need. If it was me and I was an apprentice again, the first thing that I would have bought instead of new wheels for my ute probably would have been a journeyman's kit.
Right.
knowing what I know now in the tool trade and everything like that, where you can get tools, I'd probably look at go to Reese, find out what's in a journeyman's kit. So write it all down. Yeah. And then you can go get it affordably through like Trade Tools and Renegade.
Yeah, nice.
So for example, a set of Rothenberger benders is, I can't recall, north of, I'm pretty sure it's the 3/4 benders. They're north of $200, right?
Yep.
$230 or whatever they may be. They're pretty expensive.
How much are ours?
Well, the other day, I needed a set of 3/4, so I went and bought the Renegade ones, and don't quote me, but I think they were like $60 or something.
Yeah.
Could have been a bit cheaper.
Not bad, eh?
Oh, mate.
We're here for you, mate.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
Hashtag Renegade.
Yeah.
You should see the compressor. They've got the first one.
Have you got one of ours?
No, you have the first one here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that 1987, I think it was made. Still runs.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty cool, eh?
Not bad, good size.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, good advice. I like that. What tools do you run mostly?
Oh, mate, this is a brilliant discussion. I fight out of the yellow corner hard.
Do you?
Yeah, big time. So I think I'm one of the only plumbers on the coast that I'm aware of that run DeWalt. Everyone else is Milwaukee. And to be 100% honest, I nearly switched over on several occasions. I was gonna, and they had a kickback where you give some of your like you give them the tools and whatever it was, I can't recall. And I was going to do that, and then I bought a blower.
Yeah.
Because it was like $100. I was like, I can afford that.
See, it's pretty big commitment to switch platforms once you're invested in one, and it's pretty hard to go anywhere else.
Yeah. Well,
huge financial investment.
For me, I looking at how the tides are changing and stuff with all the tools.
Yeah.
I just personal preference. I haven't had any issues with any of my tools. I've still got my drill from when I was a second year.
Yep.
And it's not a hammer drill, it's just a brush drill. And I've no joke.
Yeah, right.
Had made like a 10 mil masonry bit, and I had my knee on a paver on the back of the drill, my knee on the paver.
Yeah.
So when I first moved up here, I didn't have a hammer drill.
Yeah.
And I needed
smacking it.
Well, I needed to put in a toilet pan.
Yeah.
And it needed to be concrete. It needed to be drilled in. Mm-hmm. So I had my drill smoke peeling out of the sides of it. I had batteries on recharge flat out, changing them out like I was in a war.
That's
and
tough,
my knee on the back of the paver on the back of the drill with smoke coming out of it because it was too hot for my knee to touch the back of the drill, and just use the drill itself with the masonry bit to drill through concrete to put 10 mil plugs in. Still got that drill. That's not burnt out.
Impressive. What breed was that? What type of drill?
That's a 18 volt.
Is it DeWalt?
DeWalt, yeah, right.
So
it's a brush one, and it's old as the hills.
When I done my carpentry apprenticeship, I had Makita, and same thing. I had that brushed 18 volt drill, and I never had to change the brushes. I had it for years, and it maybe 6 or 7 years, and I just couldn't kill it. So sorry guys, just got to pop in here with a quick ad. You know how it is. Won't take long. Alfie Langer. Mate, did you know that many Renegade industrial air compressors and pressure cleaners are made right here in Queensland?
Yeah, Brad. They kicked off way back in the 80s, just like myself.
And the only place you can buy them is at your local Trade Tool store. Renegade's an icon, just like you, Alfie.
Trade Tools, born and bred in our great state. And just like me, Queensland proud.
Trade Tools does not discriminate and happily offers its products to anyone and everyone, including New South Welshmen that have managed to find their way to this great state of ours. Trade Tools, Queensland proud. And finished. Thanks, guys. What are your hobbies outside work? What do you do? What do you do in Joel time?
Well, prior to the business, I still do a lot of stuff. I ride mountain bikes a fair bit.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got a
Mini Build does that too. There you go.
What up,
friendship?
What up, Mini Build?
Boom.
If you ever see a guy riding a magenta and black Santa Cruz, that's me.
Magenta.
Yeah, I don't want to
specific. I don't want to say purple.
No, I didn't want to say pink. It's more pink.
Yeah, true.
But it's sick. But it's anyways. So yeah, I ride mountain bikes a little bit, and then I've done a bit of tall ship sailing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So right, we'll stop there for a sec. Tall ship.
Roger.
All right. TALL tall ship. So, and that is like essentially what most people would look at and say that's a pirate ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you sail.
Yeah. So I without getting right into it, my dad used to volunteer teaching disabled kids how to sail at a place called Sailability.
Yeah, right.
And he's always sort of told me, oh yeah, have a crack at sailing, you enjoy it. And I was like, that's cool. Jump on my mountain bike and do a wheelie.
Yeah.
And
so your old boy's a old nautical man, is he?
Not yes and no sort of thing. He's just always done as much as he says he doesn't. He's always just done stuff to help. Like in the town we grew up in, he started we were in a real small country town, so he started like a touch football to get everybody together, and just it's always done stuff to bring people together. And when he moved up here to Queensland from down home, he just needed to do something. He wanted to get out in the water and looked at what his options were, and he's like, well,
pirate ship, obviously.
No, it wasn't a pirate ship. It was just like the little sailors and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
So then ironically, my ex was right into sailing these big tall ships, and she's like, oh, have you had a look at Young Endeavour in Sydney? Yeah. And I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool, eh? So jumped online, applied, accepted, went down, did the voyage. Pardon me. It was awesome. I had a blast, and I was like, oh, because I knew people on that boat that were from where I grew up, in Canberra. And I was like, the next time I want to do a tall ship, I want to go somewhere where I don't know anyone. I want it to be like how it's supposed to be, where it's just strangers on a boat, and here you go. So I jumped on Instagram and just searched the hashtag tall ship and was just looking at some real cool boats, and I found this Pacific Swift and Pacific Grace, the two boats sailing side by side, and I was like, oh, wow, they're gorgeous. Like, where's that?
But how long are these boats, the ships?
I think they're north of 100 foot. Like, they're big.
Okay.
Like.
And they're all timber, proper timber boats?
Yeah. So, like a lot of them are steel hulled and timber mast and stuff like that. But
I couldn't help but carry on like a pirate or a Viking every day. Was there heaps of that carry on there?
Oh, there's a lot of like activity stuff. There's a lot of youth groups that do sales and stuff like that. But as for that tall ship, I found it on Instagram, and then found who shared the post, and then found where the post originally came from. Yeah. And just sent him an email, and it's Salts in Canada on Victoria Island. So I just sent a message saying, hey, I'm 24, I'm from the Gold Coast, and that boat's cool. How can I sail it? Yeah, right. Like, it's pretty competitive, but apply and see how you go. And then 3 months later, I got an email on a Wednesday at 11 at night. Like, what's this? Had a look. And it was, congratulations, you've been accepted on Voyage 2. We'll see you in 3 months. So
how many people were like a part of the crew on each voyage?
So on the boat I was on Pacific Swift in Canada, and there was 30 people on the boat.
Yeah, okay, righto.
Yeah, so you get.
Do they at least let you flick a lure while you're out there?
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's when we like where we were, we didn't catch anything, but when you on the in Canada specifically, when we're doing the inside passage, there's a lot of places where you do a lot of motor sailing. So it's just under motor, and you just it's more like a cruise. You're just sitting on the deck, and
how fast would they motor along?
Probably slow,
10 knots or something.
No,
like less,
3 or 4 knots. Yeah, just chugging along.
It's a good trolling speed though, mate.
Yeah, so that's what we did. We'd throw lures and stuff out the back and troll along. It was pretty cool. There was a few hand lines and stuff. A couple of people got snapped off, but never anything.
Yeah, well, kicking back with a line in the water, I think.
Yeah, there's something about the serenity.
Look at all the serenity.
It's that good. But tall ships are freaking excellent. If you ever get the opportunity, it completely changed the way that I look about things. And especially in life, as corny as that sounds, I went over to Canada and I was working huge hours before I went, and was just knuckling into it. And
so it was sort of like,
I went over there, and a lot of the people there are a lot more laid back, and had a chat just about life. You know what I mean? Just what do you enjoy? Like, where do you find your happiness? And then you spend, because when you're out there, you have no social media. Your phones get taken. Oh, well, they didn't get taken off you, but you have no service.
No, for
sure. You're at sea. Like, you don't have anything, and all you have is the 30 people that you're around, and you become the closest of, like, my closest friends are over there. Yep. Besides my mates back home, obviously, but because you spend so much time on a boat, you know everything about everyone, and it just becomes like a family. Hey, and when you leave, it's like leaving close family. You're just so attached because you've spent such a long time together.
Sure, and it's hard to find people in life that actually ask you questions like that. Where do you find happiness? Questions that make you sit there and think, I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah,
when you have 13 days on a boat, and there's not much to do besides playing guitar, singing, and sailing a ship, you soon ask the questions of how was your day? I don't have to, like, that's good for 20 seconds. Do you believe in spirituality? What makes you happy? What's your biggest fears?
Let's get deeper.
Yeah. And you that's where you build, especially with, like, that's why podcasts, in my opinion, are becoming more and more popular. People want that. A lot of people don't like transparency. They want that long form, deep discussion. I want to know about you. I actually care. Like, that's same with customers. That's why I want to spend 10, 15 minutes more on site. I want to know you. So when you say you want a plumber, it's not just, get the plumber. It's, get Joel from AHAP. I know him real well. He's a good dude.
It's good. If you ever find people that ask you those big questions, don't push them away, because Casey's the only bloke, I've had heaps of good mates, but Casey's the only one that actually sat down with me and asked me questions like that and got me thinking. And I've grown heaps since meeting him, and purely because of conversations like that.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people just listen to music, like listen to music and do their 9-to-5 job, and they don't sound silly, but they don't think like that. You know what I mean? By just sitting down and being like, nah, seriously, man, like, what makes me happy? Like, what do I enjoy? Who do I want to be around? What do I want to do? And like, instead of just going down the pub and getting pissed on the weekend, like decide, no, I want to get fit. I want to get healthy, or I want to travel, or whatever they want to do. And you find those big questions.
Walking away from a conversation where you've learned something about yourself, like you've answered a question that someone else asked, and in that answer you actually learn, because you have to think. I don't know, and you learn something about yourself, and boom, it's just inspiring.
Yeah, it's like, I absolutely love it. That's why I've always spoke a lot. Like, I've just always been a big talker, but I just absolutely adore those sort of conversations. If I can have it, I don't care if I never see that person again in my life, but if I have a conversation with them and I know that they've got something out of it that they can reflect on, it's going to help them in their life, I'm stoked. I'm so happy with it.
Yep. Got to try and get profound every now and then, eh?
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people, when you start that conversation, you'd be like, yeah, mate, like, what's your fear? Oh, I'll be like, whatever, mate, harden up, have some concrete. I'm like, nah, man. Like, we both know that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, let's have a chat about it. Like, and it's the same if anyone's listening and you're having a shit day, and everyone who's around you, if you talk to them, they're just going to tell you, oh, well, harden up, mate, you'll be all right, or whatever. Just send me a message on Instagram. More than happy to have a chat.
There you go. Needs more people. The world needs more people like that.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a big deal, especially because we all talk about the mental health in the trades, and
big time.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man. Like, and if you're seriously willing to go out there and help each other, it's the same with promoting other businesses and stuff. It's going to go leaps and bounds
for sure. Yeah, it's moving in great directions too. From look at even 10 years ago, it wasn't until you were really sort of struggling that talk conversation would ever come up ever, but. Yeah,
too little, too late. Always,
that's right. Yeah,
it was like the dark arts. People didn't want to know about it.
Yep. Yeah. Now it's slowly becoming. When you mention mental health, people don't.
Yeah, they don't try it away.
Yeah, try and get away from the conversation.
And sometimes that's all it takes, is just to be like. It's the same as when you see someone on the street. Always that smile. And
be kind.
Yeah.
You can be anything in life. You can be anything in life. Just be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind to people. Just treat them like you treat your mates. And
just care. Like, I know that's hard for some people and it sounds silly, but sometimes you just smiling at someone when they walk past, not in a creepy kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, there you go.
I was just trying to be polite.
Jesus, I was making sure you're all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it goes a lot longer, a lot further than people realize.
Yeah, for sure. But big time.
Yeah. Anyways, the tall ship thing, unreal. Absolutely loved it. If you get an opportunity, go do it. And that was a huge defining part of my life. But when I came back and I was like, yep, if I'm going to do something, do it. Like, we don't know how long we're going to be here for. Like,
for sure.
And you realize how little you are when you're out there, and you think about all these crazy big questions. Like, what, if we're lucky, we're going to get 75 spins around on this rock? If we're lucky?
Yeah.
Why don't you do something you enjoy? Like, if you're going to have a crack at a business, go do it. If you want to study, just say, for example, if you did want to go study and the degree's 4 years and you're like, oh, I'm 35, I don't want to start and go study now. Mate, that 4 years is going to go past regardless.
Yeah. Wait until you have kids. Whoa.
Yeah.
Time just flies.
Well, the big thing with that, so when you're younger, you think about time and you're like, oh, like it's school holidays, they just dragged out. Like 2 weeks was just, come on. Like, when's the next day? I want to see my mates. But
you're blinking the years over nowadays.
Yeah, that's because, pardon me, as you get older, your like, this is just my personal view on it, but your perception on time changes. So when you're younger, you only know what 3 years is, or you only know what 10 years is because you're 10 or you're 15. When you're
well, you've only experienced that much.
You don't know any different.
It makes sense.
But when you're 25 or 30, you're like, oh, holy crap. Like, you have so much more of an experience of time that you're able to see, you know what I mean? Like how quickly it goes.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. It makes perfect sense. What goals do you have?
Ironically, on the study thing, I wanted, like, eventually I'd like to be a paramedic.
Yeah,
so that's sort of my dream job, but it's something that I think I need to do a lot more thinking about before I do it, just in the mental health aspect side of things. Like seeing trauma every day, I don't think is that great for you. So
pretty hardcore.
That's something that I would love to do, but and this sounds sort of corny, but I want to be in a position where I know that my dad will never have to work again.
Yep.
So
yep.
that's
yeah.
So that's sort of it sounds silly, but
no, it's not. No, it doesn't
to some
all,
people.
though.
But like I obviously want to do well. Like if there was two things that I'd say for me to be successful, it's to know that my dad will never have to work again.
Yep.
Like he's in a position where he won't really anyways. But
yep.
I want to know that if he wants a boat, I can buy him a boat.
Yeah.
Or if he wants to go somewhere, he can go there.
I've often actually thought the same thing about my old boy. I think he used to love this Capri, this Ford Capri thing he had, and he sold it for nothing when he was young, and he's always talked about it. I thought, I hope one day I can surprise him with a car like that. The same car.
My dad's the same with an XU1.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah. So that, and I want to own a 79 Series Land Cruiser. So outright.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, outright. Not on $150,000 inflation though. I want to own a cruiser and make sure Dad can do whatever he wants.
Is that what they're worth? 150.
Oh, if you go to somewhere like Patriot Campers or somewhere like that,
yeah, true.
By the time you get a tray put on it and lifted and all the fruit and whatever, there's something like 80 grand out of the factory with no tray.
Okay, right, yeah.
It's not hard to spend another 30 on it.
Nah, for sure. That's
But for me, make sure Dad's all hunky dory and own a cruiser.
Cool. Good, mate.
I'll be one happy little camper. But in saying that, I think you just need to realize that they lead their own life as well and they make their own decisions.
Yeah.
As much as you want to do that, that's just a personal thing. And just to be happy with what you got, even though you do have those aspirations and whatever. Like I'm not rich by any means, but
I actually, before I forget, I read a quote yesterday. It was on one of them Instagram pages that gives you all the nice quotes, and it's an ironic message, and it said something like, if you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. The ironic thing is it's actually a quote from Oprah, and I was thinking that's rich coming out of you.
Like, as she buys everyone a car.
I read the quote and I thought, oh, geez, that's nice. And then Oprah down the bottom. I thought, easy for you to say.
Be cooler if it said Russell Coit.
Yeah, absolutely. But where were we? I can't remember.
As for the financial things, like being happy with what you got.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that sort of stuff, for me personally, I think it's been a real hard thing because my mind's always like super active.
Yep.
For me, it's been a hard thing to just be like, look, I live near Burleigh. I live in one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yeah.
I have enough money to get by and I have enough work to keep me going.
Yep.
Like just
easy
for a second.
It is easy to forget what you have.
Yeah.
Like you do get focused on what you want, and that sort of shows you all the stuff that you don't have yet.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to forget that someone else on the same road you live on is struggling way worse than you. They don't have all the things. Like I got 2 kids, and you know I got an old motorbike that's on its way out, and the car's a bit busted. But
got cool blinkers, but
yeah, that's right. But I got 2 kids and a missus that adores me, and a roof over our heads. So
yeah. Like a big thing with that, like me working for myself and whatever. What I've thought about on numerous occasions is think of when I was a first or a second year, and I was driving home from working in a hot dog van at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I was just thinking to myself, one day this will be worth it.
Yeah.
One day this will be worth it. And then the other day, when I slept in till 9 o'clock because I can, got up, went down the beach with a coffee and just put my feet in the sand and was like, do I go to work today? Nah, I better go to work today. Just to be able to realize that I've gone from being in one position to the other and just reflecting on that and just being appreciative. Don't get me wrong, do well, strive for sure, 100%, have a crack. But at the same time, you need to understand you've come a long way and just enjoy it for a second.
For sure, absolutely. Yeah, good, mate. Well, we might hit our rapid fire questions. They're never really rapid, but anyway, van or ute, mate? What do you run?
I run a ute.
Do you? Yep.
Okay,
it's
so
not surprising.
Ute for smell.
Ute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Ute for smell.
Right. So if you're a plumber and you've got an eel or you've got a Jetta in a van or anything like that,
yeah, that makes sense.
Or if you've pulled out like an incinerator and you've left that to just ferment in your van over the weekend, and then got in on Monday morning and the doors nearly blow off it.
Yeah, see, that makes perfect sense.
A ute's definitely better for that.
Yeah.
And I obviously will pick a ute because I'm going to own a 79 Series Land Cruiser.
True, that's right. Yeah.
Ute.
Silly question, Brad.
Of course. But van for practicality for sure. You can throw everything in it. It's
Lock
all
it up.
locked up.
Yep.
You press the button, it's locked. I don't have to walk around and put my key in each toolbox and
Yep.
all that sort of stuff. And it's all secured out of the weather. And you look at it and it's like it's literally like a Reese when you walk in there, or Semios, whatever.
Or set up.
Yeah, it's just you've got a wall full of fittings and you know what's up. It's all labelled, it's all clear, it's all easy to get to. So for me, maintenance-wise, definitely a van.
Yep.
But for the ute side of things as well, I can drive in. I've got pipes and stuff hanging off my ute everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
And I can drive in low clearance underground car parks and stuff. No worries. A van, you can't do that usually.
True. Yeah. Right.
So yeah, there's always bits and pieces to it. It all depends. But me personally, I don't mind working out of a ute. I have no issues with it.
Yep.
It's easier with a van in some aspects, but yeah, I'm probably going to lean more ute wise.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because of the cruiser.
Yeah.
So then I don't look like a hypocrite in like a year's time.
All right. What about diet? Now, I did come into this with preconceptions. I thought, healthy wrap and salad or pie or sausage roll, and I thought I had you pegged.
Oh, right. So I can smack a calorie like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
I can put it away. In all seriousness,
I could too at 25. Yeah.
in all seriousness, I'd smack both over the course of the day, huh?
Yeah. So whatever's put in front of you, you'll destroy.
Yeah, for sure. Like last night I had 2 family-sized pizzas just because I can.
Did 2?
Yeah.
That's solid. Yeah, that is. I do 1 and I spend the rest of the night feeling disgusting and guilty.
Oh, it's heavy breathing when you go to bed.
Sucking in the big one.
As you're taking a big breath and slurp from my chocolate thick shake again. Like, it's probably not ideal. Yeah. But the next morning, I'm just like, whatever. I'll probably eat healthy tonight. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, see how it goes. Oh, that's
I
good.
trained pretty hard tonight. We should be sweet.
True, yeah. See, I don't do that. I just lift the kids up and out of bed and into the bath. No, I don't. Crystal does all that.
Yeah, even for childcare workers, that'd be pretty rough on the spine, or bending at the hips all day, picking up 3-year-olds.
Man,
it's like picking up sandbags all day.
I cannot say enough nice things about people that can work in childcare. There's only a few professions that I think, how the hell could anyone do that? How could they do it? And childcare is one of them.
Yep, they've got them nurturing instincts, so all power to them.
I couldn't imagine a worse job. I couldn't. I honestly could not think of a worse job. They should be paid heaps.
I'll give you 2 that are worse.
All right, go.
Off the top of my head.
All right, shoot.
All right, first one, asbestos removal.
Shit, yeah.
Second one, insulation removal.
Oh, yeah,
or
right.
insulation installer.
Yep, you're right.
Anyone knows who's in the trades. If you've been sweaty in the eave of a roof, half laying on the gyp rock, half laying on the rafters, trying to get a pipe through an eave, and you can feel it itching under your arm.
It's giving me flashbacks.
Yep, I'd rather deal with a screaming toddler than that. Thank you.
True. So tell me that in 10 years, mate.
Hope not.
And finally, mate, cashies or no cashies?
Okay, that's it. Yep. So for me, no cashies.
Oh, you don't? Oh, that's good. I'm glad you said that.
All
Why?
right. So this is just personal preference.
Yeah, of course.
As a small business, you need to know that you're earning money and you need to know where it's going and what's going on. Keep track of it. Like I need to make sure as a new plumber on the scene, that everything that I do is straighty 180.
Yep.
And when I was an apprentice, hypothetically, I would do them for some extra money.
Yeah.
Like I'd go fix like my mate's neighbour's taps, hypothetically.
Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. But for that $50, and it doesn't seem like that for them. They're stoked, and for you, you're
that's
like,
right.
oh, sweet.
Half me week's wages, right there.
Yeah, for sure. There's a set of stockies for the weekend.
Yeah.
But so small business, no cash to the start. If you're established, then I understand where they have their place.
Yeah, cool. Well, mate, thanks heaps for coming in. That was a really good conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed that. We'll have to get you back in here, and you're going to start doing content for us, I believe.
Yeah. So I'm keen as a bean for that. So
excellent.
As if you don't follow me, you can follow me.
Self plug here.
Yep. Shameless plug. AHAP, so AHAP is my Instagram handle, or AHA Plumbing.
AHA Plumbing or AHAP Plumbing. Get around it, guys. He's a really good bloke.
So thanks very much for bringing us in here. This has been awesome. I've had a great chat, and in all seriousness with that sort of stuff, if anyone has any questions or wants to just give me a ring and have a chat when it comes to that sort of stuff, I've always got time to have a chat and listen to what you got to say.
You're a top bloke, mate. Thanks for coming in.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Talk to ya.